Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to another morning broadcast. We meet 9 a.m. weekdays to discuss our game plan and make some money together. I appreciate you all joining every morning. Today is my 10-year anniversary, but I wanted to also acknowledge we're coming up on our 3-year anniversary for Profit X. So I've been with you all going on 3 years on YouTube. And so 10 years married. Wonderful, beautiful. 3 years of being here with you all. 3 years we'll make it in September. So we're hosting an event in Miami for our 3-year anniversary. It'll be our first event, but our network has grown. It's deepened, and it won't just be me, but I'll have trading performance coaches, trading psychologists, 7- and 8-figure traders there. So I think this is the right time for that. But if you enjoyed this stream, please smash the like button. If you signed up for the waiting list for that event, we're sending an email out this morning for pre-sale. Okay, so you can take advantage of that. Otherwise, let's jump right into it. It's just it's interesting. As like I'm 5 years in, and at a certain point, you start to see these things repeat themselves. Catastrophic events, how major catalysts impact the market. And I've just been saying since February or so that we're going to continue to see downside. It's highly likely. Anything can happen, but it's highly likely that we will continue to see downside because of the tariffs. Okay. So everybody's looking for the bottom, but nothing has changed fundamentally to reassure investors that we're bottoming out. Actually, it's the contrary. Trump is doubling down on his policies, and the announcement on April 2nd was worse, or as bad as it could have been, right? So yesterday, we did two things yesterday. When we met, I said, hey, as price pushes up, we are likely to fade, okay? So any bounces, it's likely to fade, and that's what happened. So it faded, bounced again, and then faded off for the entire day, okay? And that's just one day after the major announcement. So in our community, what we did is, I didn't have time to explain on the call because it would have taken too much time, but we also traded VIX. So the VIX, actually, when we were trading, was down here, right? So VIX is it's a fear gauge, right? So as the market is going down, you can trade. If there's major catalysts, you can trade indices, and you can also look at the VIX. Okay, so we were buying VIX, and it was just so funny. We're on the call. I'm like, we're probably going to hit 60, and we ended up, surpassing that. By great measure, right? So outlook is the same. There's no fundamental announcements, no headlines that have stepped in to reassure or calm the sentiment. The market is not a reflection of its true value. It's a reflection of sentiment, okay? So as the market is plummeting, what do? You can either take a market play. Right now is the time to trade indices. The time to trade indices isn't the time when it's in balance and there's no catalyst. These are the times to trade indices right now. Okay, trade indices, trade the VIX. These are the times. So you can look at marketplace. Okay, trading the indices, which are obvious. We have obvious levels, and we obviously have a negative catalyst. Okay, so that's one. If you're still trading evals, these are the times when you smash it. A lot of times they'll reduce you, and you won't be able to trade during some of these times. But if you're trading evals, this will be the time. If you're trading, you can trade some of the ETFs like SQQ, right, during these times. All right, so that's one approach. Another approach is what we're doing in parallel is we're looking for the stocks that have strong catalysts, they have the high float, and we aren't trading any particular theme. It's just these very specific stocks that have their own catalyst and they have strong momentum. So ICCT was that one from yesterday. Okay. So ICCT, it gave us 5 trades. Literally, I'm not exaggerating. 5 trades to the long side yesterday on ICCT. And that one has held up here. So even pre-market, these levels are holding. And we saw some battles going on here between buyers and sellers, but volume has been strong and order flow has been great to the upside. So as this is holding up, we'll see if there's going to be a continuation or not on ICCT. Okay. Money, my bottom is in. I like that. Hey, you know what? We all have to make our assessment of the market, right? We all have to make our assessment of the market. The thing is we can say the bottom, like COVID, for example. We can say, hey, the bottom is in, and we start buying, and then it's fundamentals. Fundamentals matter. The sentiment of the market is driven by technicals as well as fundamentals, right? What's actually going on in the economy. And the tariffs are going to impact the economy for several quarters. Okay, it's going to be several quarters of impact on the U.S. economy. Inflation they're saying it could go to what was it? Like COVID levels, right? So what, the Fed would have to step back in, and that would be very ugly for the market, right? So right now, I'd say, I'd be waiting for the bounces. Man, this was a week. I mean, this didn't even touch our 550 level, right? So I'd just be looking for weakness and to the downside. The ADD and ADDQ, ADD was negative 3,000. Incredible, right? So that's pretty rare. So again, anything can happen. But if you see the signs, ADDQ is negative, ADD is negative, right? Look at that. Those would be good signs to let you know that, if we're going to have a trending day or not. If we're at negative 3,000 on ADD throughout the whole day, it's likely we're going to be trending to the downside again, right? So look for the short-term bounces for a potential continuation. Okay. All right. And then also, you can trade both sides, so whatever you need to see to do your thing, but just don't get caught trying to buy when there's obvious signs for selling. Okay. All right. So, let's go. Oh, okay. All right. So yeah, so ICCT is one. Okay. So that's one, that I'll be looking at. Okay. Also, if you look at the QUBTs, the tech is just, it's taking a hit. Okay. All right. So ICCT is one. You may have seen IBO here on the scan this morning. So this one, it ran up before, just in March, and now it's having a pop, and this is based off of, just one second. All right, let's see. That's a good question. Great question, Chris. Okay, it's moving off this 8K, most likely. All right, so what IBO has on the side is, right now the float turnover is pretty big. So 9 million shares float available, 41 million total. So here, what I'm looking at here is marking up levels, and just we have to acknowledge that it's on a downtrend. Okay, if you look at something like ICCT, this one was on a downtrend as well. It broke some levels, right? And we can get a short-term buying, to the upside. But something like this, we need to be careful with. As we see the float turnover is high, mark up the critical levels. And if those levels are broken, then that's going to signify that the buys are working, right? So I'm looking at the 105 as price pulls back to VWAP. What happens there? If it's obvious, if the buyers are in control, then we can step into that one there. If 115-ish breaks, then there's room for it to move up to 140, 180. Okay, so that'll be good. So just mark what I'm be doing is marking the levels as price pulls back. If the buyers are still, the bids are holding here, and buyers are in control, then there's a scalp here. There's scalps that happened earlier, but let's say the market opens, that pushes down, it holds. There's an entry from here to here to structure a good 1 to 2 trade. If it breaks, then there's more space here for 1 to 2, 1 to 3. Okay. All right. So that's what I'm looking at on that one. All right. I got you, Chris. I'm going to answer your question just a second. Okay. So IBO, ICCT, and some of these things are popping up late. Some of the things that are popping up like after the market opens, then and we're taking advantage of it afterwards. Okay. All right. So this one, just right as I was transitioning into the call, this one popped. So sometimes that happens. And we've taken some trades live on this call because some things hit the scan and we had what we needed. So sometimes if I miss, you all can call something out if you see it on the scan, and I don't. Sometimes I'm transitioning into this call. I typically try to keep things open. All right, so this one gave us a micro pullback entry there. So our next level of interest is here. Let's see what's driving this real quick. Headline: patriotic investors fans. This is a beer company. Is it? Oh no, self-defense products. All right, yeah. So these are significant levels here, but we just want to keep in mind this one has been trending down. So if we take advantage of the upside, then this can be. Right now the tape CVD looks really good to take. So this is a good level here. And if it pulls up, gives a pullback, another micro pullback, then that's an entry. Okay. All right. So that one is on AREB. So we have IBO, ICCT, AREB, and I want to look at one more. So this one, CXAI earnings. Record earnings on this one. So we just need to see if it gets back above VWAP and then mark levels here. Sometimes the earnings plays, they pop, they kind of, it may fizzle, but the earnings plays are always a good place to take a look at. Okay. All right. So let's see. Let me answer some questions. Okay. I know you've read a lot of books. Do you have a book recommendation? One is, if you're trying to understand, okay, so for the overall market, there's a book called Forex. Damn, it's like David Carley is the author. That's a really good one. But that's to understand what happens like with the economy, like how inflation, interest rates, all that stuff works and impacts currencies, gold and all that stuff, which is good to understand if you want to get into macro. If you just focus on individual stocks, what I would do is I'll probably just do a video on it because I haven't found one specific book that discusses it, except for maybe The Playbook by Mike Bellafiore. He discusses some of it, but not all of it in that book. But one of the best things you can do is look at the top gainers, top gappers for about a month, and you document all the different types of news events that push those prices. You'll have a catalog of different things. But yeah, so for the macro fundamentals, there's a book is by David Carley, Forex. I forgot the title, but I read it and it was good. It really helped me have a strong view of the macro. You think good unemployment and non-farm this morning going to give us a decent? Nope. I mean, when I say when a decent bounce, it may give us, it could give us a short term, but right now the macro theme is so dominant that I don't think it'll really give a strong bounce. It may exacerbate if growth, if the numbers are, counter for indices, then it could exacerbate the situation. I look for that. All right, Abdul, if no news is announced about tariffs, how long do you think it would take for the markets to price in what happened this week? So I think it's going to take, as I mentioned, a few quarters. The reason why is because we won't see the true effects of the tariffs. It's going to take time for those effects to happen. And then those effects are going to impact the value of the dollar. Like the DXY is, DXY took a dive, right? That's going to impact inflation, right? That's going to impact earnings. So it's going to take time for that all to roll out and be priced in. So it's still, with all the uncertainty, people are just pulling out and going into risk off assets like gold, for example, right? So this will be, if you're dynamic enough to trade different assets, you may want to, you can trade others like this, or you can trade something like SQQ, which is the inverse of the indices, and you can go long, right? All right. How do you think Fed's speech will impact the market, sir? Do you think Fed? I think he may reiterate what he's been saying. Okay, bro, chill. He'll get to your message. Yeah, thanks. I got you, Kyle. Again, holistically, I don't see it having much like pushing the needle a lot, because there's still a gap between April 2nd and April 9th is when the tariffs will go into effect. Now, because of that, they won't go into effect until April 9th. Because of that, there's going to be a gap of uncertainty, right? So there's going to be negotiations. And then once they go into effect, then the effects of the impact of the tariffs is going to, start to come into the numbers. You start to see, growth numbers, inflation numbers, PMI, PPI, CPI, all those numbers will start to change, right? So I don't think that one speech is going to bridle the sentiment. Do you only trade NASDAQ? I only trade NASDAQ and I want to join your group. No, I trade whatever's in play. So NASDAQ is in play right now. I'll trade it. But I trade anything that has moves like this. This is what I want to be in. So I want to be in the directional moves, and I just want to scalp. Just want to scalp a little bit out of the directional moves. Okay. All right, master. I'm not a master, but I appreciate that, man. I appreciate it. I know what you mean. Thank you so much. A brief statement on support zones and gold chart on the last few days, please. Yeah, I got you. All right, so we discussed my game plan. I'm not looking at sectors because I'm going mainly long. But right now is a good time to trade indices, trade the VIX, trade gold. Also, it's a good time to trade these individual stocks that have catalysts. USAR, sorry, just real quick, let me see. Oh no, it's a huge float. I mean, not huge, but relatively big float. So I'm not interested in that one. ARAB on the breakout, yeah, that one took off. So you can looking for a pullback there and entry here. So I'm setting alarms there. Yeah, so this is what I want to. This is what I want to trade. As long as if a stock is doing this, that's what I want. That's where I want to be. All right. So win rate is probably around like 70%, and I used to think that was high or ridiculous, but because I'm trading very specific stocks like this, like it'd be between like 65 to 70%. I focus on high accuracy, but I'm not looking for 1 to 5s. I'm looking for 1 to 2, 1 to 1s at times, and I'm scalping, just getting in base hits, and I'm trading a lot of different tickers. Okay, so you think short-term plays are ideal for the next few months? Absolutely. This is the traders market, not the investors market. This is the traders market, short-term traders market, because there'll be a lot of volatility, things dropping, crazy momentum. But day to day, we have to be nimble. So you have to switch over from one ticker to another. Okay. All right. So smash the like button if this helps out. Please share this with others. We've been on point. Like if you've been showing up, I've been pointing out tickers in this call, and they've been paying us out. If you want to join the Profit X group and trade with us, hit the link in the description. If you haven't signed up for the Miami event, okay. If you haven't signed up for the Miami event, then I would say just send me a link, drop me a comment, and I'll send you the link to be able to sign up. We have pre-sale going out. The Miami event is celebrating 3 years of Profit X, our company, us being here providing education for the community. Okay, we're gonna have some professional traders there, and we'll have a lot of fun as well. A lot of fun, and you can meet other traders to help you build your trading pod. Okay. All right. So let's get to it. All right. Hope y'all have a great day, and I will talk to y'all later. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye. One last question. Nick L. Lance's Magnum O is very good. It's very good, I would say. It's like, Jordan teaching a course. There's certain things that I can give you because I'm on the ground. I'll trade certain stocks, but certain concepts that he teaches that are you won't find anywhere else. So definitely, if you haven't done the free, just do the free at the minimum. All right. Hope you have a great day. Talk to you later. And he may be there at the event. All right. Talk to you later. Bye bye.